So we have Varun here from J&J, and I just want to thank him first and foremost for joining. When knowing how busy you are, Varun. This entire summit is called the Digital Health Reset, and at J&J, you're helping lead the digital health reset. So much happening with J&J and Janssen and all the other companies. Again, the newly rebranded consumer division as well, Coda, and just welcome to the program. And tell us, just to start off, if you could. The folks that are online around the world, if you could just give us a little bit of a background on yourself and your journey to where you are now as digital health and technology partnership lead at J&J.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, and it's a pleasure to be with all of you today. Thanks for having me and having all of us convene here. And Stan, thank you for hosting us in this panel. I'm responsible for how Johnson & Johnson partners with early stage companies in the technology space through a group called Johnson & Johnson Innovation. J&J Innovation sits as an organization that represents all of Johnson & Johnson from the point of view of how external innovation can shape J&J's R&D across its business sectors and platforms. And as all of you may imagine, Johnson & Johnson's it's one of the largest healthcare companies in the world with a very large footprint in medical devices, in consumer health, and pharmaceuticals. And while we are spinning out our consumer business into Kenvue sometime next year, my focus has primarily in the recent past been in pharma, to think about how technology can shape the future of healthcare through critical technologies and sciences that evolve outside of the company. About 50% of J&J, I would roughly say about 50% of all we do in healthcare comes from external innovation. And I think this is an important testament to all the work that this audience does for healthcare. And it's great to be part of an opportunity to sort of make that connective tissue back into pharma and medical devices in a meaningful way.
No, it's fantastic. And J&J has, if you look at it, any enterprise as a house, and you look at different people and different units within that enterprise as doors to that house. And J&J has several doors for people who want to engage with them on the digital health innovation front, including JLabs and some others. Maybe help explain a little bit about different types of J&J innovation centers and innovation labs and things like that that are sitting resident not only here in the U.S. but around the world, so that our audience can understand. If they want to go through that door, that's where they talk to the J&J people for that thing, or go through that door. Yep. It's like more MIS related, there's the J&J IT innovation centers, whatever. Maybe just a couple of minutes on helping our audience understand where to go and how to navigate the J&J front entrance.
Yeah. And I'll share that from the context of digital health, since
Please.
But my response is fairly broad. It applies to also any therapeutic company or any medtech company here that is looking to connect with J&J or collaborate with J&J. We try to simplify the multiple doors to one big red door, if you will. That's J&J Innovation in a way. Through J&J Innovation, we incubate early stage companies, we partner with companies, we invest in companies selectively. As one of the oldest corporate venture capital groups in healthcare, it's under the name JJDC, but it's part of J&J Innovation. The best way to reach out to us is through J&J Innovation. Our website's pretty straightforward in how you reach out. Now, why you reach out? As innovators or entrepreneurs in this ecosystem, there are different stages and different reasons why you should reach out. To accelerate and to really mature your healthcare is a very risky business. Like building any technology or any science in healthcare is heavily risky. Incubating in a healthcare environment, or a technology environment, HITLAB being one of them, like we find ways of helping you de-risk, whether it's business de-risk or science de-risk or tech de-risk or capital de-risk. This is, JLabs is one tool that works in some cases. There are many other. Techstars works for some kinds of companies. Mass Challenge works for some kinds of companies. Definitely know your ecosystem. If you are a company looking for that, JLabs is a way in. If one is trying to look at what's a strategic fit for J&J and where things can fit, definitely take a look at how J&J Innovation partners in different areas of science. So our interest in digital health, I would say, squarely sit in the world of how data science and technology can either improve our understanding of disease or improve or accelerate our ability to make medicine or solutions for a certain disease. So you will see a lot of focus, even in our quickfire challenges, which you will find on our website, a lot of focus on how we can advance care from the point of view of science. And so a lot of that is through you coming into that. Now, if you are an academic partner that is looking for investor-initiated studies and things like that, the J&J J&J Direct has a very clear path to that, but we can help you navigate. That's what we're here for. It's very difficult to navigate large companies, and I look at my organization as a way for helping innovators around the world chart the right path through that is meaningful to them and meaningful to J&J, if you will. So.
That's brilliant. And so when you look at J&J and you look at innovation, what are some of the big digital health things that are going on there that you're holding out some hope for in terms of patient outcomes and accessibility and affordability?
I'd say in the last 4 years, what's excited me majorly has been how we've unlocked new discoveries in disease. Whether it's in using new forms of biosensors or in new forms of radiomic data science. We have understood the trajectory and the movement of, and the trajectory as well as the patterns in disease in ways that we couldn't have in the past. And that plays a huge role. The COVID vaccine, and I'm sure every panel that we're going to these days talks about the COVID vaccine, because it's a feat. Making a drug is harder than taking a man to the moon. Was often a saying we hear within the pharma circle. It's true. It's very true. And the fact that we made that this industry delivered vaccines in such a short period of time will go in history books. For those empathetic to what it is like to make a drug, they'll understand how complex this is. In that, data science enabled that majorly. Our ability to draft digital twin simulations of bioreactors to help us manufacture the right drug and to do it safely and to do it repeatedly is perhaps one of the most seminal things that's helped us. Our ability to bring in certain computational tools to help us make real-time drugs based on a patient's stem cell is, again, a computational feat. I will say the world of digital health has advanced more in it's more in not necessarily the world of patient apps and engagements in my world, in the world that I have personally seen. It's been in the application of AI in useful ways that help us either understand disease or enhance the workflows that help us make the medicine and accelerate our evidence generation for that medicine in the recent years.
That's fantastic. And when you look at this, what else are you seeing as opportunities for digital health growth?
I'm very excited about the continuing of the space. I think we have only now started to unlock new forms of data capture. We are now collecting more voice. There are a lot of voice startups. There have been a lot of voice startups for the last few years, but I think we're finally now starting to learn newer things from voice data, from automatic data, from autology data that can help us once again unlock the body in a way. I think the world of precision medicine is going to sit on this in a very major way. I am most excited to see how digital health can help us advance medicine in spaces we haven't been able to yet. Cell therapy, gene therapy, in further enhancing the value of RNA medicine. Like we have built digital health to improve the lives of patients in a beautiful way, and I truly believe we will continue to do that powerfully in the coming years. So many companies have done so much, most importantly, in distinguishing what it means to help a patient get better through medicine and help a patient get better through lifestyle. And in digital therapeutics have essentially helped us unlock this ability to navigate lifestyle changes and mental and psychosocial changes that can help do more in our wellness than medicine alone could ever do in our lives. Now, in the same way, but for digital health to touch medicine even more, it's a question of how our data science and our computer science can help us get into new forms of medicine that we couldn't before. And I think that's in a very exciting space. That if one were to say, well, a professor of mine used to say that health can be thrown into the diagram of intersections of genetics, lifestyle, and medicine. Digital therapeutics have really touched lifestyle very well, and digital health has touched medicine quite well. I think we have to double click even more into medicine and perhaps into genetics as well in the next few years.
That's brilliant. And, I think that's what we're seeing, right? I say, particularly at Columbia University, we have so many startups that are picking up funding. If you look at like Alexandria Launch Labs and who's sitting there these days, a lot of them are bioinformatics and genetic startups that are picking up 25 or 30 million in funding and just seeing tremendous success in their early research and really exciting opportunities. Just to wind down, and we've got one more minute or so, it's important. Part of what we do with the HITLAB Summit, the symposia, and our seminars is we want to understand what your perspectives are in paying it forward. You've had a lot of good mentors. You talked about your professor. What would be some words of wisdom that you could give our audience here to help them in striving to be more successful as digital health leaders, as healthcare leaders, and public health leaders around the world?
Look, I will say paying it forward is such a special thing we all can do on our own, in our own special ways. Sometimes a company doesn't necessarily need business advice or science advice. They need human advice. They need human help, support, and it isn't necessarily a one-way transaction. It never is. So why I say mentorship and advice is never a paid. So you're never paying it forward. It's not a one-way transaction ever. But at the same time, the world of digital health has gotten noisier. I think for all of the startups here on this call, I think you'll all appreciate that there are so many companies today, and that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. What is going to be most important is sharing how you are maturing your company and how others can mature their companies even better. Because what's going to really come to the top is maturity, is how we're maturing our business science, our ability to run a good company financially as well as technologically, and learn to be both a technology company as well as a science company. For the first part of the digital health wave, I think we were all so focused on bringing technology to healthcare without realizing where to bring healthcare. It was meeting the two in the middle and becoming bilingual in a way, learning biology, learning technology, bringing the two together. If we can invite more of that and invite us to mature holistically across a company, it, I think, will help us do even better as an industry.
That is spot on. That is absolutely spot on. So that's outstanding and really, really appreciated. And thank you again, Varun. I know you're very busy, especially this time of year, winding down. There's no other organization I know like J&J that has so many different strategic plans, operating plans, objectives, goals, strategies, metrics, OGSMs. So it's an incredible organization, but it also has there's a lot to do when you come up to the end of the calendar year. So thank you for joining us.
It's always my pleasure, and truly grateful, and wish you all a very safe and happy holiday. Likewise.
Very good. Thank you. So that was just a tremendous opportunity to hear from a global leader with a global organization. And again, I think we're talking about some core elements of digital health reset in 2022, looking at this moment of really transitionary time when we're moving from a spike, historically speaking, of course, unprecedented spike in funding and activity in digital health, to now a period where still above the previous levels in 2019, but not where we were in 2021. And so I think the idea is that we're trying to understand how people are managing that. And obviously J&J, one of the leading enterprises in innovation, has a number of different ways to integrate there and activate. So again, if you have any questions about J&J's innovation centers, their J Labs, their MIS innovations, let me know. We've worked with J&J for over 2 decades now, since the founding of eJ&J in the 1990s, and we're happy to help you navigate just an extraordinary opportunity. Hopefully you have an opportunity to collaborate with them.